And more than a month ago, the chief of LAPD said an officer accused of sharing a meme mocking George Floyd's murder should be fired. Well, now it looks like that cop can keep the badge.
Our story this morning comes to us from NBCnews.com. A Los Angeles police officer was cleared of wrongdoing by a civilian review board after an investigation of allegations that he shared a Valentine's Day meme featuring an image of George Floyd and the words, "You take my breath away."
And back in May, the chief telling the police commission that cop should be kicked off the force. Well, now we know the disciplinary board feels differently. And as you can imagine, the news is not sitting well with local civil rights leaders.
The Los Angeles Police Department wrote in a statement shared with NBC News, the employee who was directed to a board of rights for sharing the George Floyd meme was found not guilty. In this case, the facts and evidence were heard by a board that was comprised of civilian board members who are selected from the community. The department respects the disciplinary process and will direct employees to a board of rights where it is believed that termination is the appropriate penalty. At the time of that incident in February of this year, the department tweeted, "The department will have zero tolerance for this type of behavior," and they launched an internal affairs investigation. NBC Los Angeles reported that the Los Angeles Police Protective League, a police union, said at the time that the meme was abhorrent and that whosoever was responsible should be held accountable. Dustin DiRollo, a spokesperson for the union, declined to comment because of confidentiality concerns and directed inquiries to the officer's attorney.
Well, Laverne, that officer landing in hot water for sharing a meme on Valentine's Day or around Valentine's Day with George Floyd's picture and the words, "You take my breath away." Now, months later, he's off the hook. Take a look at this. LAPD releasing a statement to BNC that reads in part, the employee who was directed to a board of rights for sharing the George Floyd meme was found not guilty. In this case, the facts and evidence were heard by a board that was comprised of civilian board members who were selected from the community. Now, that decision closing out an internal investigation that's lasted months. Back in February, fellow officers raising a red flag after the LAPD employee allegedly circulated a social media post with the offensive meme. And in that statement to BNC, a rep for LAPD says the department respects the disciplinary process.
The unnamed officer's attorney, Leslie Wilcox, said the Board of Rights was absolutely correct in exonerating the officer based on the evidence in the case. The officer found the meme offensive. He did not create the meme, nor did he distribute it beyond notifying a commanding officer of its existence. Both the commanding officer who received the officer's communication as well as the assistant chief who oversaw the investigation agreed that the officer's single notification of a commanding officer was in no way improper.
Yeah, Walter, surprisingly here, we know people have gotten fired over tweets that were less abrasive than that. Do we know anything about that accused officer?
Well, we know he is a sergeant, but other than that, not much. The chief has repeatedly said he can't release that officer's name because of state privacy laws. Reporting live in Los Angeles, I'm Walter Morris for BNC.
The Los Angeles Times reported in May that in the small number of disciplinary cases that have since come before new all-civilian boards, they have been more lenient toward officers than the previous review boards, which consisted of 2 officers and a civilian. All right, so if you're thoroughly confused, then you're like me. So first of all, these new civilian oversight boards are all civilians now. It used to be 2 police officers and a civilian. Now it's all civilians within the community. But looking at this, saying that an LAPD officer cleared of wrongdoing in the internal review, you go through this and I'm kind of confused. Is this the officer that shared the meme? Or, they say, well, he didn't distribute it. He didn't create it. He just told his supervisors about it. And that's why he's been exonerated. So who created it? The officer found the meme offensive. He did not create the meme, nor did he distribute it beyond notifying a commanding officer of its existence. Who distributed it? How did this cop find out about it? So really, they weren't exonerating the officer who, put it out there. They're exonerating the officer who went and told about it. I'm confused. Like, do they really think? I'm confused here. The LAPD, there's a meme coming somewhere from within the LAPD of George Floyd on Valentine's Day of this year that says, "You take my breath away." Totally inappropriate. A sergeant with the police department, the LAPD, notifies the chief's people about it and says, "Look, this is inappropriate. I did not create this or distribute it. We need to find out who did it." What do? They have an internal investigation on him, the whistleblower, and then exonerate him of any wrongdoing and say, he's been clear. Look, we did an internal investigation. We did it. And he's been cleared of any wrongdoing. Well, he's not the guy. He's the guy that told you about it. Are we supposed to be happy? Are we supposed to go, LAPD did their job? They looked into it. No, they investigated the whistleblower. And I don't say that critically. I say whistleblower praisingly. The guy who came forward and said, "I don't agree with this crap." Of course, he should have been exonerated. What about the people or person that did the meme and put it out there? That's who we want to see investigated.
The fact that law enforcement can still do what they do, and there's no recourse, there's no justification, there is nothing that they find themselves out of line in, which is, it's just like, maybe something's wrong with me, that you're seeing something that I don't see. And to have it continue to go over and over and over and over again. And this is what we were trying to do some years ago, is to have an independent review board, somebody that's totally clear and not under that, because, they try to disguise it and say it isn't. But the facts are, police cannot police. They will not do it.
Come on, Michael Moore. We're not a bunch of dumb idiots. I know you have sheeple that love you and follow you no matter what you do. We back the blue. We'll back the blue right off a cliff. But some of us, Mike, we're a little smarter than that. Stop investigating what appears to be, from this story, the whistleblower, and start investigating the people responsible. What do you all think? Let me know in the comment section below about this dog and pony show. Community Leo Watch, I watch Leos. That's law enforcement officers.